Beloved chosen one, stop for a moment and breathe. This is not coincidence. This is not another video drifting past your screen. This moment was arranged. You are here because something rare has been stirring inside you. Something most people will never feel, let alone carry. There is a reason you have never fully fit into the systems around you. A reason why ordinary paths have always felt too small, too shallow, too colorless for your spirit. What you carry is different. It is the blue power, quiet, deep, disciplined, and terrifying to darkness. You may not have had language for it before. You may have called it sensitivity, overthinking, or feeling too much. But it was never weakness. It was capacity. Blue is the color of depth, of authority that does not need to shout, of power that waits for the right moment to move. Only 1 in a million is trusted with this frequency because it requires restraint. Anyone can burn red with anger. Anyone can flash gold for attention. But blue holds the storm without becoming the storm. Think about your daily life. At work, you often see problems before others do. You notice inefficiencies, emotional undercurrents, unspoken tensions in meetings. Yet when you speak, you are misunderstood or ignored. Later, when things collapse exactly as you sensed they would, no one remembers you warned them. That frustration has followed you for years. But ask yourself, if you were surrounded by people who listened too early, would you have learned patience or humility or timing? At home, maybe in your family, you became the emotional anchor long before you were ready. You were the one who stayed calm during arguments, the one who absorbed stress that was never yours. You learned to read moods the way others read headlines. It cost you rest. It cost you childhood ease. But it trained your spirit. Blue power matures early because it must. Financially, your path has not been straight. Opportunities appeared, then vanished. Money came, then slipped through your fingers due to responsibilities you did not choose. You worked harder than others, yet advanced slower. And there were nights you asked God in silence, why am I always behind when I'm giving everything I have? But what if delay was not denial? What if it was containment? God refusing to give you speed before giving you structure. Listen carefully now. The awakening of blue power is never loud. It begins with separation, with silence, with a sense that you are being held back while the world rushes forward. This is why you have felt out of sync with your generation. You don't move on hype. You don't thrive on chaos. You wait, even when you don't understand why you're waiting. That is not passivity. That is alignment. There was a moment, maybe recently, when you were tempted to quit something important. A job, a relationship, a calling, even your faith. You were tired of carrying weight without recognition. Tired of being strong in private and invisible in public. You told yourself, what's the point? But something stopped you. Not fear, not guilt, a quiet restraint. That was the blue power holding you in place. You see, this power does not activate through impulse. It activates through endurance. Darkness expects you to explode, to self-sabotage, to walk away before the shift. But blue remains. Blue watches. Blue waits until the exact moment pressure turns into authority. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 27, verse 14. Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. That verse is not poetic filler, it is instruction. Waiting is not weakness when God commands it. Waiting is warfare when heaven has already decided the outcome. Picture this, you wake up one morning, check your bank account, and the number is lower than expected. Bills are due. Your phone buzzes with another message asking for help you don't feel able to give. Anxiety rises, but you don't panic. You make one clear decision instead of 10 desperate ones. That calm is blue power. Or imagine a heated conversation at home. Voices rise, accusations fly. You could add fuel, but you choose silence. Then truth spoken without venom. That restraint shifts the room. That is blue power. Now let me ask you directly. Chosen one, if God trusted you with this depth, why are you still measuring yourself by shallow standards? This section is not a warning. It is an unveiling. You are not late. You are not behind. You are being formed. And formation always feels like delay to those who don't understand destiny. If this message is resonating in your spirit, I ask you gently, once take a moment to like this message, share it with someone who has been quietly carrying weight, and subscribe so you stay connected to what is unfolding. And at the end of this section, as a sign of alignment, comment the number 77, not for me, but as a marker for yourself that you recognize the season you are in. The blue power has begun to stir, and this is only the beginning. You have spent more time alone than you ever planned, not always physically alone, but internally set apart, thinking thoughts others don't ask, carrying questions others avoid. And the danger in seasons like this is not isolation itself. The danger is misinterpreting it, because there is a difference clear, sharp, and life-altering between isolation permitted by God and isolation produced by unresolved pain. One refines you. The other slowly drains you. So we slow down here. We do not rush. Blue power requires discernment. God-led isolation sharpens you without shrinking you. Trauma-based isolation makes you smaller, suspicious, and numb. One gives clarity, the other feeds self-protection. The problem is that from the inside, they can feel similar. Both are quiet. Both pull you away from noise. Both reduce your circle. That is why many chosen ones mistake refinement for rejection, or worse, mistake wounds for calling. Let's make this practical. Ask yourself how your isolation behaves. When you are alone, does your thinking become clearer or harsher? Do you gain insight, or do you spiral into replaying old conversations after time alone? Do you feel grounded even if tired, or do you feel heavier, resentful, disconnected from hope? God's isolation sends you back into life, more present. Wound-driven isolation makes you hide longer. Think about your work life. Maybe you stopped socializing with coworker. You eat lunch alone. You keep conversations strictly professional. If that distance is helping you focus, hear God more clearly, and reduce drama, it may be refinement. But if it's because you were betrayed once, overlooked once, or embarrassed once, and now you trust no one that is not God protecting you, that is pain building walls where discernment should build gates. Here is a concrete practice: set a time limit on solitude. God's isolation has seasons. Trauma wants permanence. Decide intentionally, for this hour, I will be alone with purpose. Journal, pray, learn, then re-engage life, even briefly. Send the email, answer the call, go outside. Refinement includes return. At home, the line becomes even thinner. Perhaps you stay in your room longer. You avoid family gatherings because you feel misunderstood. God may indeed be asking you to step back from constant noise, but He will never ask you to emotionally disappear. If your isolation is turning into coldness, sarcasm, or silent punishment, that is not holiness. That is hurt. Blue power is not trained by withdrawal alone. It is trained by controlled exposure, like steel tempered by fire, then cooled, then heated again. Total isolation makes steel brittle. God does not want you brittle. Financial stress often intensifies this pattern. When money is tight, you may isolate out of shame. You don't want to explain your situation. You don't want advice. You don't want pity. so you disappear. But notice this. God's refining isolation invites wisdom. Trauma isolation avoids accountability. One says, "Teach me." The other says, "Leave me alone." Here is another practice during isolation. Ask better questions. Not why does this always happen to me, but what skill, boundary, or perception is being formed right now. Self-pity asks why. Refinement asks how. How am I being trained to lead? How am I being taught restraint? How am I learning to choose peace over reaction? The blue power does not grow in self-condemnation. It grows in sober honesty. You can acknowledge pain without building identity around it. You can grieve without camping there. Notice also how God-led isolation still contains quiet hope, even on hard days. There's a thin thread of expectation. Something in you knows this is not the end. Trauma isolation feels like a sealed room with no windows. If you've lost the ability to imagine a better outcome, it's time to adjust, not double down. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." That verse does not deny hardship, it frames it. Refinement never erases future. Wounds try to. Let's ground this in one everyday situation. Imagine you were passed over for a promotion. Again, you stop talking in meetings. You do your work, go home, scroll, sleep. Weeks pass. If you use this isolation to build skill, seek counsel, refine your voice, and prepare for the next door that is God shaping you. If you use it to rehearse bitterness and detach from your own excellence, that is pain hijacking solitude. One more practice, small but powerful. Name the season out loud. Say, "This is a refining season, not a hiding season." Language matters. What you call the season determines how you behave inside it. And now a direct question. One only you can answer honestly. Are you isolating to become clearer, or to avoid being seen again? Blue power does not require you to disappear. It requires you to become precise, disciplined, whole. Isolation is a tool, not a home. You are allowed to rest here, but not rot. You are allowed to be alone, but not lost. Refinement ends. Self-pity multiplies. Choose wisely. Before David ever faced Goliath, he faced something quieter and far more familiar to you. He faced dismissal. He was sent back to the fields while his brothers stood in formation. When the prophet came, no one even thought to call him inside. David's story does not begin with a giant. It begins with being overlooked. And that is why this story belongs to you. When David finally arrives at the battlefield in 1 Samuel 17, he does not come as a warrior. He comes as a delivery boy, bread in his hands, obedience in his posture. He hears a threat that everyone else has learned to tolerate. Goliath has been shouting for days. The army has adapted to fear. They wake up, line up, listen to intimidation, then go back to their tents unchanged. Fear has become routine. This is where blue power reveals itself. David does not see what everyone else sees. Where they see size, he sees defiance. Where they see danger, he sees disorder. His question exposes everything. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine translation who gave this problem permission to speak so loudly? In everyday life, this is how blue power shows up. You walk into a workplace where dysfunction has been normalized. Everyone complains quietly, but no one confronts the issue. Or you enter a family system where one person's temper controls the atmosphere and everyone else adjusts. Or you look at your finances and see debt patterns passed down like inheritance. Others call it just how it is. Something in you refuses that explanation. But here is the part most people miss. David is not reckless. He does not run straight at Goliath fueled by ego. He first speaks. He asks questions. He listens. Then he remembers. He recalls the lion, the bear. Private victories no one applauded. Blue power is built in secret repetitions, not public moments. Think about your own life. There are battles you survived quietly, seasons of unemployment where you didn't collapse, emotional pressure where you didn't become cruel, temptation where you chose restraint. No one wrote songs about those moments, but heaven recorded them. Now bring this into a modern situation. Imagine you are the youngest person in a meeting, the least credentialed. The idea everyone is afraid to say is burning in your chest. You can feel resistance before you speak. Your voice shakes, but you speak anyway. Not aggressively. Clearly, that is a stone. Or imagine standing up to a pattern in your family saying, "This stops with me." No applause, just silence. That is a stone. David refuses Saul's armor because it does not fit his movement. This matters. Borrowed strategies limit blue power. You cannot fight your battles using someone else's personality, pace, or calling. The armor of hustle culture might crush you. The armor of silence might suffocate you. Blue power requires precision, not imitation. The giant falls not because David is strong, but because David is aligned. One stone, one release, one moment of clarity. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 1, verse 27. But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. That verse reframes everything. The thing you were mocked for, your sensitivity, your patience, your refusal to rush, is the very thing God intends to use. Goliath never falls to what he expects. Here is where this becomes personal. What is the Goliath in front of you right now? Is it a debt that keeps shouting numbers at you? Is it a diagnosis that feels larger than your future? Is it a boss? A habit, a pattern of fear that has trained you to stay small? And more importantly, what stone have you been carrying without realizing it? Blue power does not shout back at giants. It shortens distance, it aims, it releases. But there is a warning here too. David runs toward the battle. Blue power is not passive. Waiting has its place, but there comes a moment when hesitation becomes disobedience. Some of you are still rehearsing, still explaining, still waiting for perfect conditions. Goliath does not fall while you plan. He falls when you move. One everyday example: you know you need to have a difficult conversation about boundaries, about expectations, about honesty. You keep postponing it because you fear reaction. That fear grows larger every day you delay. The conversation does not get easier. The giant gets louder. Blue power acts while fear is still surprised. Now, a direct question for you: are you avoiding the battle because it is big, or because stepping forward would finally reveal who you are? At this point, I want you to do one simple thing, not as performance, but as alignment. In the comments, write this phrase: I step forward. 3 words, nothing mystical. The explanation is simple. Language directs movement. When you name a decision, your mind begins to cooperate with it. This is not for visibility, it is for clarity. David did not become king that day. He became undeniable. There is a difference. Your victory may not crown you immediately, but it will silence what has been mocking you. And when the dust settles, you will realize something quietly powerful: the giant was never proof of your weakness. He was evidence that you were next. There comes a moment when resistance increases, not because you are wrong, but because you are effective. This is the phase many chosen ones misread. You expect relief when you obey. Instead, pressure tightens. Misunderstandings multiply. Silence replaces affirmation, and a quiet thought slips in. If this path were truly aligned, wouldn't it be easier by now? But this is not regression. This is the counter-strike. Darkness does not react to noise, it reacts to disruption. When your presence begins to dismantle patterns quietly without drama, without force, resistance sharpens. Blue power provokes without provoking. It unsettles systems simply by refusing to participate in distortion. You've seen this in everyday life. At work, you stop cutting corners. You refuse small compromises others depend on. Suddenly, your pace is questioned. Your motives are doubted. You haven't attacked anyone, you've just changed your alignment. And alignment is threatening to environments built on convenience. At home, you choose emotional clarity over silent endurance. You no longer absorb tension that isn't yours. You speak with calm honesty instead of practiced compliance. The atmosphere shifts. Not everyone likes the new equilibrium. Resistance doesn't always shout. Sometimes it withdraws warmth to test whether you'll chase approval again. This is where many people retreat, not because they lack strength, but because they misunderstand friction. They assume ease equals blessing, but in reality, ease often means you are not touching anything significant. Blue power learns to stand without applause. Think about your finances. The moment you choose structure, budgeting, patience, long-term thinking, you feel pressure from both sides. Old habits resist discipline. External voices mock restraint. Progress feels slower than impulsive living ever did. But something else begins to form: stability. And stability threatens chaos more than ambition ever could. The counterstrike is rarely dramatic. It is cumulative. Small disappointments, subtle exclusions, delayed responses, just enough to make you wonder if disappearing would be simpler. But blue power does not disappear, it deepens. The ancient words recorded in Romans chapter 8, verse 37, still echo today. In all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. Notice the precision. In all these things, not after they resolve, not once resistance fades. Authority is formed inside the pressure, not beyond it. Here is a grounded scene. You're building something meaningful, a healthier routine, a creative vision, a business idea, a renewed faith. At first, encouragement comes easily. Then attention fades, support thins, the work remains. This is the quiet test. Are you building for witnesses or for weight? Blue power continues even when no one is counting. There is beauty hidden here, though it doesn't announce itself. You begin to notice fewer distractions pulling at you. Certain conversations lose urgency. Certain opinions lose power. Your circle may narrow, but it sharpens. You no longer explain yourself to people invested in misunderstanding you. That is not loss. That is authority settling into place. This section is not about endurance for endurance's sake. It is about learning to recognize confirmation disguised as friction. Some doors resist because they are locked. Others resist because they are heavy and valuable. And now, without pressure, without command, only as metaphor, consider this. If these words feel like a quiet flame in a long corridor, you are not required to stop, but you are allowed to warm your hands. Some pass by light without noticing. Others pause, not out of need, but recognition. Tending a flame is never an obligation. It is a choice to keep warmth alive. Sharing that warmth, staying near its source, returning when the path grows dim, these are not gestures of loyalty, but of alignment. And if you choose to remain close, not from habit, but from resonance, the light will still be here when you return. Resistance will not last forever, but what you become while standing within it will shape everything that follows. So consider this final question for this section when pressure rises around you. Do you interpret it as a signal to withdraw or as evidence that your presence is altering the field? Blue power does not outrun the counterstrike, it outlasts it. Pressure does not mean abandonment. It means weight is being added because structure is forming. Just as deep waters remain calm while surface waves rage, your depth is being trusted with more force. What remains steady under pressure is what heaven intends to use. There will be moments you feel unseen again, not erased, just unnoticed. Let that season teach you how to move without mirrors. When your identity no longer depends on reflection, you gain the freedom to act from truth rather than reaction. Some resistance is not an obstacle but a filter. It separates curiosity from commitment, spectators from builders. What stays with you through difficulty is what belongs to your future. Everything else fades by design, not by accident. Carry this quietly into the next step. You are not surviving opposition. You are being calibrated by it. And when the pressure lifts, and it will, you will realize nothing was wasted, and nothing essential was taken from you. There is a cost to carrying blue power that few people warn you about. Not the obvious cost: fatigue, misunderstanding, delay, but the quieter one: restraint when you are capable of more. This is the season where many chosen ones stumble, not because they lack strength, but because strength finally becomes visible to them. You begin to realize you could move faster, you could speak sharper, you could dominate certain rooms, conversations, decisions, and yet something within you keeps asking for precision instead of speed, integrity instead of advantage. That tension is not confusion. It is the cost of carrying something sacred without contaminating it. In ordinary life, this shows up in subtle ways. At work, you might realize you could manipulate perception, take credit, exaggerate results, play politics. You see how easily others do it and advance, but something in you refuses, not because you're naive, but because you know shortcuts always demand payment later. Blue power sees long consequences, not short rewards. In relationships, you may recognize your emotional intelligence gives you leverage. You can read people. You know what to say to win arguments, to trigger guilt, to secure loyalty. But you don't. You choose restraint. That restraint costs you immediate control, but it preserves your soul. Financially, you might be offered opportunities that look profitable but feel misaligned. The numbers make sense. The timing is right, but the spirit is off. Saying no feels like loss. Yet every time you honor alignment over appetite, your authority deepens. Blue power grows heavier, more trustworthy. Here is the danger zone when restraint is misunderstood as weakness by others and occasionally by yourself. You begin to wonder if you are being too careful, too slow, too principled. You watch louder, more aggressive people seem to win. That comparison tempts you to dilute what makes you different. This is where many burn the blue fire instead of carrying it. Power that is released before it is purified becomes destructive to others, and eventually to you. That is why your journey has included so many pauses, not to frustrate you, but to protect what you carry from being weaponized by ego or wounded ambition. There is a story repeating in your life. You are tested not on what you can do, but on what you won't do. Consider a common scenario. Someone wrongs you publicly. You have proof, receipts, the ability to expose, and you rehearse the response. You imagine the relief of being vindicated, and then nothing. You stay quiet, not passive, not afraid. Strategic. That choice feels costly, but it keeps your hands clean and your vision clear. Blue power is never reactive. It is deliberate. This section is about learning the difference between sacrifice and self-betrayal. God does not ask you to diminish yourself. He asks you to discipline yourself. There is a difference. Discipline sharpens power. Diminishment erases it. The Apostle Paul wrote in the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 11. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. Notice the phrase trained by it, not crushed, not broken, trained. Blue power is trained strength. Now let's bring this into your internal world. Some of you have been resisting bitterness longer than anyone knows. You have reasons to harden. History supports it. But you choose softness with boundaries instead. That choice is exhausting and holy. Others have been resisting despair. You allow yourself to feel grief, but you do not make it your home. That balance is costly. Here is where hope becomes concrete. Discipline produces peace not someday, but gradually. You begin to sleep better. You respond instead of react. You stop needing to prove yourself. You feel solid, unrushed, whole. That is the harvest. Blue power matures into authority that does not need to announce itself. People begin to trust you without knowing why. Your words carry weight even when few. Your presence stabilizes rooms. This is not charisma. It is coherence. Now I want to ask you a direct question, one that requires honesty. Not performance. What temptation keeps returning because it promises faster results than patience? Sit with that. Do not judge it. Just name it. Awareness is part of discipline. This is also the moment to mark alignment, not loudly, not publicly, but intentionally. Numbers are symbols of order and remembrance. They remind the mind that a choice has been made. At the end of this section, if this resonates with where you are choosing restraint, paying the cost, trusting the process, comment the number 144. Not as a signal to others, but as a marker for yourself. I choose training over impulse. I choose harvest over hunger. Blue power is not about what you take. It is about what you refuse until the right moment arrives. The number 144 represents structure multiplied by structure, discipline reinforced by discipline. It speaks of inner order, not external display. When you mark this number, you are acknowledging that your strength is being organized, aligned, and prepared to stand without collapsing under future weight. By choosing 144, you are not predicting an outcome. You are confirming a posture. It means you accept training before promotion, stability before expansion. It is a reminder that what is being built in you now must be strong enough to support what is coming later. There is a moment that does not announce itself loudly, yet changes everything. It is the moment when clarity replaces confusion, not suddenly, but decisively. You realize you are no longer asking, "Who am I?" You are asking, "What am I willing to carry forward and what must I leave behind?" This is not fear, this is maturation. Blue power reaches this stage quietly. There is no dramatic collapse, no public turning point. Instead, you notice that certain options no longer tempt you the way they used to. Certain habits lose their grip. Certain conversations feel out of season. You are not better than others, you are simply no longer available for everything. This is the narrowing. Many misunderstand this phase and call it loss. But it is not loss, it is selection. Life is beginning to respond to who you are becoming, not who you were surviving as. In everyday terms, this looks like saying no without explanation. It looks like choosing consistency over excitement. It looks like realizing that some opportunities cost too much internally, even if they pay well externally. You stop asking, Can I handle this? And start asking, does this align with what I'm being shaped into? At work, you may notice you're no longer energized by chaos. You don't want to prove yourself through overextension. You want sustainable excellence. You prefer fewer tasks done well to many done frantically. This is not complacency. It is authority stabilizing. In relationships, this stage is even more revealing. You can love people deeply and still recognize they cannot walk into the next season with you. Not because they are bad, but because they are bound to versions of you that no longer exist. You stop trying to be understood by those committed to misunderstanding the change. This is where many people hesitate. They sense the door narrowing and panic. They try to keep every option open, every connection intact. But blue power does not thrive in divided loyalty. It requires wholeness. There is also grief here, real grief. You mourn versions of yourself that kept you safe. You mourn dreams that were sincere but incomplete. You mourn relationships that mattered but could not mature. This grief is not a setback. It is the cost of coherence. And then comes the subtle urgency, not anxiety, not pressure, but awareness. You realize delay now would not preserve peace, it would erode it. The door is not slamming shut, it is slowly closing, inviting decision. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 18, the path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day. This verse does not speak of sudden arrival. It speaks of clarity increasing, light expanding, vision sharpening. You are not late, you are seeing more clearly than before. And clarity always demands adjustment. Here is a common grounded example. You know you need to change a pattern: sleep, spending, boundaries, honesty. You've gathered enough insight, enough confirmation. Continuing to think about it is no longer wisdom. It is avoidance wearing a thoughtful mask. Action is no longer reckless, it is respectful to the truth you've been given. Blue power recognizes when contemplation has completed its task. This is also the phase where excuses become obvious to you. Not shameful, just transparent. You see where fear has been disguised as discernment, where comfort has pretended to be patience. That awareness is not meant to punish you. It is meant to free you. Hope becomes concrete here. Not emotional hope, but structural hope. You begin to see how one clear decision could simplify many areas at once. How choosing alignment in one place would ripple into peace elsewhere. The future no longer feels abstract. It feels reachable. And yet you are careful. Because blue power does not rush thresholds, it crosses them deliberately. You may feel quieter now than you used to, less reactive, less desperate to be seen. That quiet is not emptiness, it is readiness. When noise falls away, direction becomes audible. This is not the end of struggle, but it is the end of confusion. You are no longer asking whether the door is real. You are deciding whether to walk through it. So take this moment seriously, but not heavily. You are not being rushed, you are being trusted. The door does not close because you are unworthy. It closes because you are ready to live undivided. What comes next will not demand urgency, only honesty. You will recognize the right step not by how loud it feels, but by how little resistance remains inside you. Peace will no longer feel like relief. It will feel like direction. You are entering a phase where alignment speaks before effort. Doors respond to your posture. People sense your clarity without explanation. This is not control. It is coherence expressing itself outward, shaping reality through inner order. Remember this quietly: readiness is not excitement, and certainty is not noise. The most decisive moments often arrive wrapped in stillness. When you move now, You will not be proving anything, you will simply be agreeing with what has already been formed within you. There is a moment when the weight you once struggled to carry settles naturally on your shoulders. Not because it grew lighter, but because you grew stronger, steadier, truer. This is the moment of blue authority, not dominance, not control. Authority that comes from coherence, from living undivided. You no longer introduce yourself by explaining your past. You no longer need to justify your pace, your boundaries, your silence. What you carry now speaks before you do. Rooms respond differently. Conversations shift subtly. Not everyone understands why, but you do. This is what it means to be crowned. A crown is not decoration. It is responsibility without supervision. It is choosing integrity when shortcuts would go unnoticed. It is staying awake when comfort invites sleep. Blue authority does not announce itself. It proves itself through consistency. Look at how this shows up in ordinary life. At work, you become the person others trust with complexity, not because you have every answer, but because you don't collapse under pressure. You listen before reacting. You choose clarity over drama. Your steadiness becomes a reference point. In your finances, extremes no longer rule you. You are not reckless, and you are not fearful. You plan, you prepare, you give wisely, you save calmly. Money becomes a tool instead of a threat. That balance is authority. In family and relationships, you stop absorbing emotional storms that aren't yours. You love deeply without drowning. You speak truth without cruelty. You hold boundaries without apology. That maturity reshapes dynamics more powerfully than confrontation ever could. This is when you realize something quietly profound. The struggle was never meant to break you. It was meant to entrust you. Blue authority does not arrive when life becomes easy. It arrives when you become consistent. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." Notice the certainty, not you will be, you are. Being visible now may feel unfamiliar. You were shaped in obscurity. You learn to stand without witnesses, but light does not argue for its place. It simply stands where it was set. Challenges will still appear. Authority does not remove opposition, it reframes it. Problems no longer feel like threats. They feel like assignments. You engage without losing yourself. And here is the quiet joy of this stage: you no longer need to convince anyone. Those meant to recognize you will. Those who don't are not your responsibility. Now the tone shifts not into command, but invitation. If these words have felt like a quiet signal fire on a distant hill, you are not required to answer, but you may choose to acknowledge it. Some mark moments like this by placing a small stone at the roadside, a sign that they were awake when they passed. Some choose to carry the flame forward, not to persuade others, but to spare them unnecessary darkness. And some return to the fire from time to time, not out of obligation, but because light is easier to protect together than alone. If any of this resonates, let your response be gentle, intentional, and your own. The path recognizes those who walk it consciously. There is no urgency here, only clarity. So let this be the final question of the journey. Now that you know who you are, what kind of presence will you choose to be? You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to burn out. You were meant to carry blue authority, steady, luminous, enduring. And this path does not end here. It continues wherever you walk in alignment. What follows will not require reinvention, only remembrance. You will recognize familiar choices appearing in new light, no longer demanding reaction, but inviting alignment. The ordinary will feel quieter, steadier, as if life itself has slowed to match your pace. There will be days when nothing dramatic happens, and that will be the sign of progress. Peace will stop feeling temporary and begin to feel structural. You will measure success less by acceleration and more by how little you need to recover afterward. You may notice how easily you release what once drained you, not through force but through clarity. When understanding settles, attachment loosens naturally. What leaves now does so without conflict, and what remains fits without strain. In moments of solitude, you will not feel empty. You will feel contained. Thoughts will organize themselves. Decisions will require fewer rehearsals. This is what it means to live without inner division. Quiet strength holding everything in place. Carry this with you without performance or announcement. You are not waiting to arrive somewhere else. You are already standing where you were meant to stand. Moving forward not to become, but to remain true. Nothing needs to be rushed now. When movement comes, it will feel cooperative rather than forced, as if the path itself adjusts beneath your steps. You will sense alignment not through excitement, but through the absence of inner resistance. Let this understanding settle gently into your days. You do not need to explain it, protect it, or prove it. What is real will stabilize itself. What is not will fade quietly, and you will continue forward, whole, awake, and unfragmented. We will end this not with a conclusion, but with an opening. There is nothing here you are required to accept, remember, or carry forward in full. Take only what touched you. Leave the rest without guilt. Words are meant to serve, not to burden. And sometimes one sentence is enough to shift a season, even if everything else fades. If something in this journey felt useful, steadying, or quietly true, you are free to pass it along. Not as an announcement, not as a declaration, just as you would pass a cup of water to someone walking beside you. No explanation needed. Light travels best when it is offered gently. And if nothing here felt necessary for you, that is also complete. You are not behind. You did not miss anything. Stillness can be just as instructive as resonance. You may walk away with nothing more than awareness, and sometimes awareness is the entire gift. What matters is not agreement, but honesty. Notice what stayed with you when the words slowed down. Notice what returned to your thoughts without being invited. That is the part that belongs to you. You do not need to remember the structure of this message. You do not need to hold on to every image or phrase. Meaning does not require memorization. It settles where it is needed and leaves the rest behind. If you choose to share, let it be because you recognized yourself in it. If you choose not to, let it be because you recognized yourself elsewhere. Both are valid forms of alignment. This space will remain open, not waiting, not calling, not pulling, just present. You may return when it serves you, or you may continue forward carrying only what became clear. Nothing more is asked, nothing less is required. Walk on with what you found, leave the rest here,